Hey, my name is Reece, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about why becoming successful is a decision that you need to make, and really what that means. But before I start that, I want to quickly talk about a comment that I got on a YouTube reel the other day, which has sparked this video of why I'm creating this video in the first place. Because in this video that I created, the caption was something along the lines of why I decided to start a six-figure agency in 2020. And I got a comment on that reel from someone saying, you don't decide to make a six-figure business. Success comes from a multitude of factors. Furthermore, most folk who talk like that get their money from daddy's trust fund, not sitting in math class reading a business book. Now, this comment has come from the fact that the caption that I use in the reel said, why I decided to start a six-figure agency. And I also mentioned in that video that I was in the back of my science class reading a business book. Both of those are factual. My response to that was, I don't agree. You make a decision, a commitment, and you put in the work, or you don't. I'm not most folk, but I know why you say that. I see it too. I came from a single-parent household, worked a 9-to-5 in retail while I built my agency. And I also thanked him for the comment because I do appreciate the engagement. I appreciate that different people have different worldviews and ways that they see things. But in this video, I want to expand on that a little bit more, because chances are, if I've got a comment like that from someone, then other people think that too. Other people think that it's not a decision that you make to become successful, and that there is what I would like to speak about today. Because I can expand on this a lot more, and maybe it isn't a single decision. Maybe it's a bunch of decisions that you make every single day on whether or not you're going to do the tasks that's necessary to get you to the goal. Maybe that's what it is here. But back when I was 16, 17, and I was in school, I was in the science class reading the business books. It's a fact. I used to stay at the back of my biology. I distinctively remember my biology lessons because my biology teacher was not very strict. My chemistry teacher, other areas of science, they were very, very strict, and I would have to sit at the front of the class because I wasn't doing very well. My biology teacher, in the nicest way, probably didn't really care too much about my results, so he would let me just sit at the back doing whatever. In the back row, you'd have the kids who would just mess around, just talk the entire lesson. There would also be me just sitting there reading a business book. And this is all factual. This used to happen in my school, and unfortunately I have no way to bring that back. But I used to sit there. You can see my grades that are on my Instagram. You can see I failed most of my exams. I didn't do very good in school. And I was in the back. I even failed business, I think. I was in the back of my business class, my science class, studying a business book. And that was really important to me. I'm not talking a business book, academic business books. Like, I did attend a business class. I'm not talking about a business book from a business class. I'm talking about the business books, stuff like How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is less about business, more about human interaction. But all of these little things, that other business books that I read, the other one by Mark Anastasi, it's called The Laptop Millionaire. That was one of the first books that got me introduced to the internet marketing space. But I was making these decisions not to focus in the class and instead to focus on reading these books. And I made the decision around this time that I wanted to do business full time. I haven't shared this so publicly before, but I used to make music as a hobby, and for a long time I had this back and forth between music, business, but then one time I just sat down with myself and I said, look, you got to make a decision right now. Which of these do you want to do? Because you can do anything, you can't do both. You can become the best at anything, but not everything. And I had to sit down with this decision, and I decided business is what I wanted to do because I enjoyed it more. I felt like it would get me closer to a life that I wanted to do. Most importantly, I did enjoy it more than making music. But it's what I wanted to do. And I made that decision very early on that I would be successful in business and I would do whatever it took. So let's just say this decision was made around 2017 or so, which is when I started my first agency. And between 2017 to 2020, I had zero results. I didn't have any clients. I signed 2 meetings. One of those was with a family friend, so that doesn't really count. From 2017 to 2020, I basically had 1 meeting and I closed 0 clients. I made no money whatsoever. But then in 2020, things changed a little bit. COVID hit. I couldn't go to my 9-to-5 anymore. The government told me I had to stay home, and I used this opportunity to this new time that I had, I used this opportunity to start working again on the agency. And by doing that, I got a one-on-one coach. I worked with him. Within 2 months, I signed 2 clients. And just realized I'm still on that page. Within 2 years, I quit within 2 months, I quit my 9 to 5. Within 2 months from 2020, around summer 2020, within 2 months, I quit my 9 to 5, September 25th, 2022. Sorry, it's 2022 now. 2020. So September 25th, 2020 is when I quit my job. And yeah, that was with 2 months of working with my one-on-one coach, getting 2 clients and leaving then. But the point that I really want to make in this video is that I made the decision to be successful when I was 16, 17. Around 2017. So these 3 years that I wasn't really doing anything, the decision was still here. I had still made the decision to be successful. So the fact that it took me 2017 to 2020 without results didn't bother me, because I already made the decision that I would grow a successful business and the many successful businesses from that. I made the decision that it would happen, so I stuck to it. When these 3 years of failures or no results came around, I didn't care about it because I felt like I was building all of the foundations that I needed. I was working on my speaking skills. I was recording some YouTube videos. I wasn't too consistent, but I was recording some YouTube videos about my progress. And I was just getting more comfortable about talking to the camera and actually speaking out what I was doing and introducing myself to the world. I was building my personal brand in a certain way. I had started a blog on my website. It's no longer available, but I started a blog. I was doing some YouTube videos here and there, and I was just building a bit of a name for myself in the various communities that I was part of. But most importantly, I was working my inner skills. I was learning about digital marketing, copywriting. I was learning about Facebook ads. Facebook was really big back 2017 to 2020. I was learning about all of these different things. I was learning, again, about human interaction, from How to Win Friends and Influence with People, which is a book by Dale Carnegie, an incredible book. That was the first self-improvement book that I read and finished in its entirety. And from there, I just kept studying these different skills. And the point that I'm making is that I made a decision that I would be successful. So those 3 years that a lot of people would think, I'm just failing, never crossed my mind. It was all part of the process. And this is really what I want to drill home here, because if you have a vision, let me just... let's get this. So once you have a vision, you've got a vision, and you decide to commit to it, the timeline disappears. It's not about when you'll get there. It's just about the fact that you will get there, and you just got to continue on the path until you achieve the vision that you have in your mind. And the thing about that, by the way, is the vision will continue to expand and continue to grow as you grow as a person. As you achieve the vision that you've got in mind right now, your perception of what's possible in the world will expand, and then you'll want to achieve more and more as time goes on. So once you have a vision and you just decide to commit to it, the timeline disappears. It's not about, I'll be happy when I achieve this. It's just about, let's just achieve it. Let's just go through this beautiful mission and let's achieve it. So you stick to the path, and then because you stick to the path, you stick to the activities you got to do day in, day out, obtaining the vision of the dream life, whatever it is that you have in your mind, becomes inevitable. It's no longer about, I want to get here in 6 months, or I want to get here a year from now. It's just, I'm going to get there. That's all it is. And the dream life, the vision that you've got in your mind becomes inevitable. All that is left is for you to stay committed to the daily activities and the tasks that you know are going to get you to that vision. And then you just live as the person who has already achieved that vision. The person who has already achieved it, 6 months, a year from now, whatever, again, the timeline is less important. The person who has achieved that vision that you've got in your mind, what are the things that person's doing? You start doing that today, and you start living the vision a lot quicker. But again, it's not about the time. It's about the fact that you made the decision that you would achieve the vision that you've got in your mind, and you don't stop until you get there. And this is the last point that I want to drill in, is that a lot of people think, I'm going to be, I'm going to use a real life example. I won't mention a name, but I have met a student in my one-on-one mentorship program. And he had signed a client maybe 2 months ago. The client stuck around for a month and then decided to leave quite abruptly. And, after that, he kind of fell off a little bit, for a week or two. He just kind of fell off. He wasn't really doing the tasks, and I reached out to him. I was like, hey bro, I said his name, obviously. I was like, hey, name, asked him how he was feeling since what happened, since the client dropping, and he said that he had taken a hit. It had hit him quite a bit, and I was like, look, let's get on a call, because I offer one-on-one calls to my mentorship students. I was like, let's get on a call and let's discuss it. We got on the call, and he explicitly said to me, he pretty much said that when he had the client, he had confidence because he had the client, because he knew he could do it. And I had to paint the picture with him where it's like, if you're constantly relying on something external that is outside of your control, then you can never actually control what's going on inside your inner mind, how you're thinking, behaving, feeling, what you're believing, the things that you're doing, getting up to. If you cannot control what's going on up here, you definitely can't control the outside. So if you're relying on the outside to control your inner mind, then you're not going to have the best constructive inner mind possible. And pretty much what I was sharing with him is that if you are focused on getting the client and all of these external factors, then you're not going to be able to achieve that, because you need to be feeling that stuff today internally. You have to start feeling confident today, not when you get the client, because you need to feel confidence to get the client. So you need to just focus on loving the process. Just focus on loving what you do. And I just said to him, look, man, it doesn't matter that the client jumped off, left. The important part is the fact that you were doing all of the activities before. The moment that you got the client, you stopped doing it, and you stopped doing it even more when you lost the client. And that was the problem there. He forgot about what was going on, and before he signed the client, he was doing all of the activities that he had to do on a daily basis, and that's why he got the client. He didn't get the client before because he was because he had a client. That doesn't even make sense, right? But what he's saying now is that he's lost his confidence because he doesn't have a client, and that doesn't really make sense. You just got to focus on the path, focus on the process, focus on what you want to do. Long story short is he started picking up again last week. He booked a couple of meetings last week, which is great, and he's back into it now. And he's like, he told me over the weekend, he was like, bro, I missed this feeling. I missed what he's feeling now, the confidence and the fact that he can actually achieve the vision that he's got in his mind. So, to wrap up, to conclude, if you make a decision that you are going to achieve the vision that you've got in your mind, there is nothing that's going to stop you from doing that. The timeline disappears, you're able to achieve the result that you've got in your mind. Not only of that, but you're actually able to go past that vision. You're actually able to achieve more, and in a quicker time frame, because you're no longer bothered about the time frame. You're more like, it's going to happen. And last thing I want to conclude on as well here is that people, they may say that being successful isn't about a decision. It's about luck. It's about whatever other factors. But the truth, and the cold, hard truth that most people don't want to admit here, is that success, especially in business, just comes from you doing the work. If you decide that you're going to do the work until you become successful, and then you'll continue, you're going to be successful. There's nothing that's going to hold you back from achieving what you want to achieve if you do the things that you know you need to achieve. So that concludes this video. This is one of the first times that I've actually made a proper video around kind of mindset, around this, what it takes to be successful. If those of you that are new to the channel, you don't know me, my name is Reece. I own a multi-six-figure paid advertising agency working with women's fashion brands called HPA Media. That's what we do. I also have a one-on-one mentorship program for new and existing agency owners who are looking to book consistent meetings for their agency and scale to over £15,000 a month by automating their processes, building out a team, building out a consistent flow of sales meetings, etc. So if you are looking to get some more one-on-one help to help you actually grow the business, grow your agency, start it and grow it, go below. If you're watching on YouTube, go below to the description. You can watch the 25-minute demo video which goes over the entire mentorship, what's included, including the guarantee structure that we have in place. Or you could just go ahead and book in a one-on-one call with me and I can help you out there, see if you'd be a good fit to join the program. I'll also show you some of the systems that we're currently using to book consistent meetings, automate our processes, and build out an incredible service delivery team. So without further ado, if you've got any comments, any questions or anything, go ahead, pop that down below. I'm going to end this video here. But if there's anything you want to mention, pop it in a comment, or if it's more personal, shoot me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to be able to give you some advice and just kind of hear your stories, especially if you've dealt with stuff like this before. Aside from that, I'll see you again on Thursday with the next video. Take care and have a great week.